Welcome to the Ref Show. I'm either overdressed or underdressed, depending on what you think of the identical twins here, Messrs. Hirst and Hackett, both sponsored. I want to know where my sponsorship deal is. You need to grow a beard, by the way, and then you'll fit in nicely. Identical's a good word, actually, because we had the great talking point is of two near identical challenges in the Premier League over the weekend. You'll know the ones that I'm talking about, which were punished differently. One by a red card on the Saturday. This was Marnie of Liverpool against Manchester City. And one, Matt Ritchie of Newcastle at Swansea on the Sunday, which was punished only by a yellow card. First of all, David, because you're the kind of non-expert view, as it were.
That's true. The player didn't know the
words. Your take on these two.
Well, I think it's. I've seen the Mane situation a number of times, and it's quite easy to defend his situation and say not a red card. But then on the flip side of that, you know, the way he attacked. I mean, he's got his eye on the ball. I don't think there's any intent, any malice in it. The keeper's head's down there, his foot's up there. It's a difficult decision. I think it was the right decision, to be honest.
Okay, so then Ritchie on Sunday.
No, just keep it on that. I think as a player, I've got to go for that ball.
Yeah,
I've got to go for that ball. If I pull out of that tackle, I get quizzed in the dressing room. It's just an unfortunate incident that, on the other side of it, you get the red.
Yeah.
Similar scenario. Different opinions.
Different opinions. Okay, well, you are the ref through Keith Hackett here has had a big thrust on protecting players from themselves and the importance of safety on the field. Is it a matter of opinion? You know, David's given his, or does the law give no choice on these kind of incidents?
I don't think referees should hide behind the laws of the game, but effectively, we're there to apply them. And, you know, we wouldn't have laws in any walk of life if people behaved correctly. Now, the scenario here is to understand that the laws have been penned and the responsibility now of the player is towards his opponent, not health and safety, but a duty of care. So the law, the serious foul play law, which we'll make reference to behind me, is in effect quite clear. That the challenge that was made by this player was dangerous towards his opponent. It put the health safety of that player at risk. So they talk about it, the law talks about endangers the safety of an opponent. And this is exactly what both of them did.
So both reds for you? Both
reds. I thought, you know, I'm the biggest critic of John Moss. And in fairness, he seems to have started the season much better than in previous ones. On this occasion, he was right in the ideal position to view. Now, the thing that I liked about his refereeing, which I applaud him for, was that he took his time. I think on first view, he probably, because his move was with the right hand towards his right hand pocket, where he keeps his yellow card, and I think he's going yellow, where I'm thinking that's a red. And then he gives himself just that little bit of thinking time and produces the red card very accurately.
And that was a big game for John Moss because there were eyebrows raised about it. It's as big a game as I think he's had in the Premier League, Man City and Liverpool. It was only 1-0 when he made that big call as well. It was 5-0 in the end.
Yeah. But just on
big
that
confidence
again,
boost for him.
On that again, you know, if Mane gets his toe to that ball and goes, you know, knocks it away, and the keeper clatters into him, does the keeper go?
I think that's a good point,
isn't it?
No, I
don't honestly think that Mane is not trying to endanger the player. I think he thinks he can just nick that ball.
We all accept that, I think.
Yeah, I think generally we accept that, but I think at the same time, you know, he's got his eyes on the ball and all that nonsense is something that the media will talk about, but in reality, the referee ain't got that view.
Yeah.
He's looking at the ball. He's looking around that whole scene. So again, it's back to the players' understanding when they make challenges for the ball. And we've seen a few this season, off the ground, 1 foot or 2 feet, going forward, out of control. In a sense, they can no longer make those challenges. Because if they do, the least they're going to get is a yellow. in this situation, he's endangered the safety, it has to be red.
And whether there's contact with the opponent or not is irrelevant.
it's
under the
irrelevant.
law.
That's a very tough decision for a player, though, in that scenario. Because I'm there to win the game. I'm there to win the ball.
This was just unfortunate.
This is another tackle as
This was
such.
about a split second, wasn't it?
Yeah. Would it be the same scenario if the keeper comes with his feet rather than his head?
My argument is that the laws have changed, you know.
Or is it the interpretation that's changed?
Well, no, the law's changed, the interpretation has also changed. I mean, the old thing was that we used to, as referees, I had to make a judgment using the word intent. What is the intention of that player? Rightly, the IFAB, or wrongly, they said, look, we're going to take that out of the referee's hands. We're going to actually be more specific. And in being more specific, they narrow the options for the referees. They promote weak refereeing, because that's what Mike Jones was guilty of. The offence was the same. You know, this argument, whether he makes contact, he doesn't make contact, doesn't hold much in terms of the laws of the game. The responsibility is on the player. And somehow, you know, we go back. How often now do we see a thundering challenge from behind on a player?
No, it's out of the game. But
It's out of the game. And this is where...
When Hirsty played it, nearly
Well,
finished your career.
Pretty much,
the challenge from behind finished your career, didn't it?
That's the whole point. Players over the years now, through consistent refereeing, penalise for making that challenge. Right?
Players then don't do it.
Players don't do it.
Changes the game.
And okay, whether we love it or like it or not, what the old scenario here is about the safety of players.
Do you accept that?
Yeah, I do. It's difficult to split intent. The word intent, the intention of the player.
Yeah, but
what is his intention? Now, I know I would stand here and he could probably come on the show and he said, my intention was to get the ball. I caught the keeper, fair play. The referee has to make a decision. But that's what it is. That's how fine it is.
So many media pundits still refer to this word intent when it's irrelevant, like you say. It's out of it. What you intend or not is out of it. It's the effect.
Out of the law.
So Stuart Martin blogged Mike Jones on youartheref.com and said he was poor, he was behind play, and I know you concur with that on his performance, just as you praised John Moss's.
You know, there's a similarity about both. Their game, even though I praised John Moss on this one decision, within his performance, there's an inconsistency of application of law. And it's not about their lack of knowledge of the law, it's they're not in the right position to make the decisions. Both of them, I question their fitness and their proximity to play. Although on this one decision, Moss did really well to get there and make the accurate
call. But consistently, he's been praised by you guys in the studio this season. So is he getting closer to play? Has his fitness improved?
I think his fitness has improved.
Right.
But you know, in that same game, in terms of Mike Jones, let us not forget that he clearly saw an act of simulation where a player was cheating that tried to get a penalty kick, and he refused correctly. He turned that down, but then did not again apply the law
on simulation.
And he should have cautioned that player.
Yeah, okay, so big queries over Mike Jones, but well done John Moss, I think is the summary from that. Also on Sunday was Burnley 1, Crystal Palace 0. I watched a blog from Andy Hogg, that rhymes, doesn't it, really, and it came out full of praise from Michael Oliver in that game. No queries at all. Do you know I love clean sheets from referees, and there seems to be an increasing number of those. Well, I mean, no cards at all shown, and there were two of them in the Premier League. Lee Probert, Southampton 0, Watford 2. And this I've made a particular note of. This was Neil Swarbrick. Now, you look at Stoke v Manchester United. Keith would know better than that. That's a difficult fixture to referee, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
He came out with a clean sheet. No cards at all.
Well, I've said it before. I said it the last time I was on this show. Swarbrick is a referee that's in form. He doesn't go for the glory. He just gets on with the game. He understands the game, reads it well, and I think the players appreciate that. Whereas if you looked at that Mike Jones game, there's players looking at each other and looking at the referee thinking, what are you doing here, mate? And that loss of, if you like, respect for the referee suddenly then sees players rolling and slightly exaggerating in some of the free kicks, and you go, come on, lads, get on with the game.
I know what I'd think it is. I'm going to call it a different thing than a clean sheet. It's a halsey. They both forgot their cards.
Yeah.
So when the players
That's
find
the
that out,
real
they're going to
thing.
use it a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. Couldn't
So we've
be
had
a
two
more-
houses this week.
Two houses, yeah. And by the way, there were two in the Premiership. There were two in the Championship
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
That's four. I'll mention those in part 2 of the ref show. And finally, I think we end this part. What there wasn't, and this the referee has no control over, there was no handshake between the managers Jose Mourinho and Mark Hughes at the end of that. For whatever reasons, there'd been a skirmish earlier in the game. It related to that, I think.
Well, let's be fair. Do they have to? Are they friends? Do they need to?
In the past, it would never have been noted, but cameras are very much on the benches now, which is another story.
Maybe you don't shake hands with people you don't get on with.
It could be as simple as that. In that
Why
case,
would he?
In that case, there's no handshakes here at all. Join us for part 2.